Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Research Roadshow. Today is April 20th, 2023, and this is part two of our mini-series on hospitals and the legal system here in the United States. This is going to be a short broadcast, just 10 minutes. I want to point out two very important ideas and solicit your questions in order to design parts 3 through 6. There are roughly two things that I can personally contribute to the discussion of the upcoming situation and rapidly devolving situation in our hospitals today. One has to do with climate change. Now, if you haven't heard about climate change, then your kids and grandkids probably have, and it's in all their textbooks now. It's almost on every page of every textbook at MIT. Climate change, climate change. Why is that central to our discussion about the hospitals? Because that is an area where I can have a personal impact. Because I have met with many people in the Boston area. I've attended many symposia on climate change and on the technologies aimed at reducing climate change or using fuel more efficiently, etc. So I'm going to pull up just one example. This is Professor Jessica Tranchik at MIT, and I appreciate very much everything that Jessica tries to do in her work, especially with COP26. I hold nothing against the people in Tranchik's lab or the people that they ultimately work for, the people that ultimately provide the financing and the logistics support, the help to attend these conferences in Europe, the enormous resources required to keep them on track in their hearts are set on it. They really believe in it. But I can show how I can give at least 9 examples of very promising technologies, grassroots technology that never got funded by any European laboratory, by any Cordis bureau, by any Department of Energy entity, or anywhere else. All of the venture capitalists that talk about decreasing carbon, reducing the carbon footprint, etc., none of them ever gave any money to these 9 technologies. And I'll cover that, hopefully with a little help from Corky. I will cover that in a separate series. Why is that important to tonight's discussion on hospitals? Because you saw that I opened up with a picture of James Bond, License to Kill. Well, apparently, somewhere around 1949, a group of powerful Europeans and 3 or 4 people from the Middle East, including but not limited to United Arab Emirates, decided that they should give a select group of people the license, literally, to take out someone who was going against the plan, the big plan for a much better future for the world. And this license to kill could also be given to not only 007, but to, let's say, medical personnel or medical administrators. If they felt that the overall mission, the overarching mission could be furthered, if they could move their football downfield by, for example, in euthanasia, we see, especially in Canada right now, we see an increasing march toward 360 out in the open euthanasia. If someone is beyond his productive years, just take him or her behind the woodshed and I say, John, that sounds a little brutal. You're comparing certain protocols in a major hospital to just taking someone out behind the woodshed. It's actually much kinder, that kind of euthanasia, than what they're doing right now. And I can think of 5 examples here in the US that not personally related to me, but close enough for comfort. That someone died before the age of 70, and it looks a lot like there was these powers that gave James Bond the license to kill, giving medical personnel in the States the ability to promote, to not work very hard at saving the life of these 5 particular people. What am my main point tonight is, you have to, don't wait for someone else to do it. Find out what the laws are in your state as soon as this broadcast is over. Turn off YouTube altogether, turn off Netflix, turn off Rumble, turn off everything, and go downtown, go to your library, ask the librarian to help you find out what are the rules and regulations in your state if you do not approve of the care that your doctor is giving you, or more to the point, to a loved one, especially a child between the ages of 8 and 12. Let me repeat that. I have a lot of experience with hospitals in a certain city on the East Coast. Children between the ages of 8 and 12. Parents of those kids should know very well every detail of every page of the code when it comes to inquiring about the protocols. For example, if my child gets sick and I'm curious about the CD4 count, and the doctor says, well, we didn't do a CD4 count, I want to know why. And I have a God-given right to know. And what I mean by that is, the Almighty entrusted me with the ultimate authority over this child's life, not only in the immediate, but in the long term, to make sure that over the next 80 years of that child's life, that he, she, ahead. My CD4. As soon as this broadcast is over, go downtown, start digging out the laws and the norms for your state, for your county. If there is a large hospital system in your county, there's probably a county health czar. Find out everything you can and share that information with your neighbors. Because when it is time to pull your kid out of the hospital and they don't want to let your kid out of the hospital, you have to rely on your neighbors and friends to come to your support. Things that they failed to do in Italy. And most of you know by now that I spent 30 years in Turin, Italy. The 3rd largest hospital is San Giovanni Battista, less than a mile from my house. And that is a large part of our problem. The reason we have so many young people dying is because we did not know the laws in our particular area. So please do yourself a favor and know what your rights and also your obligations towards non-medical personnel. You don't want to get innocent people in trouble, or to cause more headaches than they're going to already have. And try to understand how breaking down the narrative is something that we are all tasked with. We all, in the case of climate change, it's going to be a major, major, major battle to reverse what is being pumped into our children's heads. Showing the hypocrisy in the system is difficult, but it requires rolling up your shirt sleeves, no matter how young or old you are, hitting the books, talking to people, finding out the information that you need to show where is that, especially to help young people make the jump, to show them that additional piece of information that lets them say, oh, wait a minute, maybe climate change isn't that bad, and maybe it's not, maybe the procedure that's being recommended to me, like not using a car, is not really aimed at saving the planet. Anyway, keep smiling. It drives the AI crazy. Don't be afraid to do the hard work. Take good care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll be doing this again tomorrow at 7 p.m., hopefully. See you tomorrow.